Vanakkam Chennai, good to be here finally, and thank all of you for taking time out to be here. And Arjun, thank you. Look forward to a wonderful partnership moving forward. And I think we've got a few deliveries lined up today. We have a few owners here, and yes, we have a session where we want to take you through the history of the company, how we've gone about developing the F77s, and finally want to take you to get to this point as well. So, that's it. You have the and we have time for some questions and answers. So feel free to let us know if you have any thoughts around anything that you would like more clarity on as well. So I'd like to begin with talking about the DNA of the company, why we started what we are doing. We've historically been looking to the east or the west for the best in terms of technology, performance, design. And Neeraj and I, when we came together in 2015, we believed that it was time to change that perception across India, and we knew India has the talent and what it takes to do this. Could we build the next Ducati? Could we build the next marquee brand in the automotive space? Could we do what Apple has done for consumer electronics? Those were our aspirations and ambitions when we started the company, and 8 years from that point, here we are today. And taking India global is one very big part of our aspirations, and this has literally kicked off in the last few weeks. These are images from EICMA. EICMA is the marquee motorcycle show that happens in Europe and Milan every year. This was the ultraviolet showcase in Europe, and just last month is where we gotten our certifications for Europe compliance, and starting 2 weeks from now, we should start our first retail in overseas markets. And the product going to overseas markets is the exact same as the F77 Mark II. There is no hardware or software change from what is being retailed in India. This is another important aspect when we think about the automotive world. Often we look at specs and features available on certain products in overseas markets, and we wish India was able to get a lot of that. We still continue to see that, and for the first time it is the other way around, and we're getting a lot of demands for tech that is being launched and released in India for the overseas products, and happy to be setting that trend. On the screen is the F77 Mark II, you have the F99. I'll come to the F99 in a bit. We've got some very interesting updates on that, and we showcased a few concepts as well. Now, when we talk about designing in India for the world, the design part of it starts with imagining what the future could be. And every loop of the design and development process has been done completely in-house. Right from the first sketch of the motorcycle to the way the concept has evolved to what we have today, it's been an 8-year journey where every single component has been meticulously engineered and tested before putting it out on the roads. And a testament to all of this is the sheer number of awards that we won. A big shout out to the media community that has recognized all of our achievements. So the F77 today is the season's biggest award winner across the board from design to technology. And these were some of the sentiments echoed by media and a lot of people familiar with motorcycles. And I think one of the important aspects is one of the statements there that says the people designing the F77 really understand motorcycles. And when it comes to the electric world, this has been something that has been lacking for a while. But I think that comes down to our DNA. As both of us founders also, we are very deep rooted in the motorcycling world and culture. I've owned about 6 different IC motorcycles from 100cc all the way to 1000cc before starting Ultraviolet. Neeraj has owned about 4 different motorcycles in his journey before starting Ultraviolet, and we appreciate motorcycles, and what we try to develop is a great motorcycle that happens to be electric, and that's the way we treated the whole development process. So a motorcycle needs to be fun, addictive, engaging. You need that brag value, show off value. All of that has been in a very sophisticated way being captured on the F77. A little further on the global expansion, this is our event that happened early this year in Turkey at Istanbul. Tremendous interest. I think the booking processes have already started in some of these countries. Now coming to India, Chennai is a very, very important city in our roadmap. And Chennai is very strong. Tamil Nadu itself is very strong on motorcycles. So in fact, we are in parallel launching 2 stores in Tamil Nadu. Chennai goes live today, Coimbatore goes live in 2 weeks from now. And there's been a lot of inbound requests from folks in Chennai. There is already close to 100 vehicles in Chennai, the F77s, from the Gen 1s to a few Mark II vehicles in Chennai. What we had done so far was to set up a support base from a service standpoint for the last 1 year, operating out of ECR. And now today, formally, we merge sales, service and spares in our space station Chennai. And these are the list of 12 cities selected out of the 50 that are going to go live globally. 2 retail formats. Where we are today is the Chennai space station. We will also have a format called the space pod, which is a smaller footprint but can scale to multiple parts of the city for easier access to the brand and test drive zones as well. So the space station will be an experience zone. As you can see here, there is a lot talking about the journey of the brand, journey of the motorcycle, the technology aspects. So the whole experience is captured in the space station now here. Now, I think I already spoke about this, and one interesting point, we will also be launching our line of merchandise pretty soon. We've got a lot of inbound interest on a lot of accessories from the brand. We're also going beyond accessories into mainstream, future tech-oriented merchandise. In fact, the jacket I'm wearing is a prototype from one of these. These are all connected systems, so you have a NFC zone here. If you scan it with your phone, it opens up a portal into a different ultraviolet ownership experience. More on this later in the coming few days. And talking about the motorcycling experience, we spoke about the thrill of riding the bike, thrill of showing off the bike, the performance, the design, all of that. But I think as motorcyclists, we also want the freedom to go beyond our urban constraints. And that is where the focus has been a lot from ultraviolet on the charging expansion side. But before coming to the Supernova charging stations, I'll talk about how we've tried to solve for this range anxiety, as the world calls it. So we believe there are 3 ways to tackle it. There is the aspect of having enough and more range on the product itself that you don't worry about 90% of your ride use cases. So today we have the highest range with an IDC range of 323 kilometers on the F77 Mark II Recon. This is the highest range across Asia in all of 2-wheelers. And to provide this kind of range, outputting this kind of performance and power has been a challenge for the engineering team that has taken a good 7 years. And all of this while maintaining the best safety systems in place. So part 1, the highest range on a motorcycle, yes, we tried to solve for that. The second point was making charging on the go easy and accessible. So we got 2 chargers. You have the standard charger that comes with the vehicle. You also have the boost charger that one could upgrade to as well. Both of these are portable. We also have a pannier box that comes along with the accessory set. You could house your standard or boost charger within the panniers and go on those longer tours or rides. And the third aspect was the network. Okay, before coming to the network, one more point on the standard and the boost chargers. All you need is a 15 amp socket to plug these into. So whether you are going to an existing car charger or a dhaba or a restaurant or a hotel, all of these establishments come with 15 amp sockets. I think it is a matter of finding the right place to plug the vehicles into charge. But we realized that this may not be enough, and that is where the Supernova Highway DC fast chargers came about. So this, as we scale to multiple cities, we are identifying routes in and around the cities to populate these chargers with. So we've done this fairly well in Bangalore. About 20 plus chargers are already in and around Bangalore, along Bangalore, Mysore, Bangalore, Chennai, Bangalore, Tumkur, and popular riding routes. So as we scale to different cities, we are also getting inputs from all of you owners, prospective owners, and our partners in Chennai to figure out what would be the ideal points to connect from a Supernova standpoint. So these are 6 and 12 kilowatt DC fast chargers. With the 12 kilowatt charger, you could charge 20 to 80% in less than 45 minutes. So that is the pace of charging that we are talking about here. So this is going to expand. And of course, intercity riding now becoming a reality. We have enough and more stories, anecdotes of that already having happened with the F77. So this is a video that I'm going to play that talks about one of the rides that we did in Bangalore a few weeks back. This was to celebrate World Motorcycle Day. It was a 320-kilometer ride from Bangalore, overnight ride, and I think as part of what we've seen, all of our owners love technology, love motorcycles. Could we bring these two passion points together? And what we did here was combine a day where you had the motorcycles on a long, enjoyable ride. You reached a place, and then you had a FPV drone workshop happening here. So these are the sorts of activities that I think we will want to scale up across the country as well when it comes to how the ultimate brand experience is going to pan out. So that's the view into the kind of brand we're trying to build. I think when you are part of the ultimate universe, you're not owning a product, you're part of an experience. And I think we will do our best to make sure this sentiment is carried through in everything that we do from a brand perspective. And we're also very receptive, and we would love ideas from our community as well as to what do you folks like to do, and we will try to figure out the ideal experiences moving on. All right, is Bala here? Bala, you want to join us, please? So this story here is about Bala. Bala has had the F77 for over 1 year now. Welcome, Bala. 1.5 years. And this was crazy. So he got the vehicle in 2023. And a month later, we get an email from Bala saying, I'm planning to ride to the Himalayas. Right? And while at the company, we had tested for heat, snow, ice, water, whatnot. We had not actually taken the bikes to these types of terrains. And this was a point where we were right about opening the Bangalore Experience Center. So we asked Bala if he could wait for a couple of months and we do it together. But Bala said my holiday calendar is only 20 days and I have to go and come back within those 20 days. And this was an incredible journey, 20 days, 7,000 kilometers. And maybe Bala, just a couple of minutes from you on the whole experience.
Thank you. Thank you for all coming here. Thanks for the opportunity. And I think I purchased my bike on 21st April 2023, and the ride began on May 21st. to be specific, like exactly a month. I just completed 1,000 kilometers and just serviced in our base. Started the journey. I didn't have any idea. I just wanted to enjoy my vacations. That's it. It's not about these records. I think it was later we applied for it just for a try. A lot of people had a negative opinion on how can you go that to till Ladakh. Even a lot of discouragement came in, but still people from Ultraviolet helped me out in like giving me training in servicing the bike if anything happens on the way, and also they helped me out with the booster charger. I didn't have a booster charger then, and they helped me with the booster charger and also some few breakable parts if anything happens. But luckily, believe it or not, I had only 2 punctures. One is a mistaken puncture and another one is the actual puncture. That happened in like one of the ghost road, Pagatal Pass. So it happened there. So only that thing, what I considered negative, but the whole part of the journey is like, it's a big story. I think already I would have said in a lot of medias and all these things. But still,
it was 47 in Nagpur to -10, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we had a different experience, and Narayan used to call when I was in Nagpur. So he was asking how's the bike and what is going on, and because he used to talk with and get to the feedbacks. But the actual challenge happened in Leh, where Neeraj came in and he helped me out with the minus charging, because at one point what happened is bike didn't start because of the sub-zero conditions. But after a few minutes when it got warmed up, and it automatically came back to running status, and I continued my journey. I think I remember in Palm. Yeah. So in the military base, I was staying inside the military base, so they were the one who helped me out in charging.
And we ran an update for your vehicle.
Yeah, so I think that record has not been climbed yet. That's the highest OTA update electric bike will have got. And lot of memories and lot of new friends on the way, unknown people, like Indian Army people, still there in touch. And one beautiful thing is, the major I met in Palm, he is a customer. I think whether he would have taken the delivery or not, he saw the bike there for the first time, and he experienced the bike on that terrain, and he was so happy. And even a lot of things on the way were happening. I was riding in like 45-degree hot sun to heavy rain in Manali and Shimla region, and snow and whatnot. Every terrain is covered without a single problem.
Cool. Thank you, Bala. Yeah, nice. So that was Bala's incredible journey, and along with Bala, now we have several F77 owners who've done incredible things on their machines. And especially in this case, while it is, of course, we're talking about the quality of the bike, reliability, etc. It is an incredible example of human spirit and achievement also. So let's all put together a big round of applause for our achievement. Alright, now I'd like to invite Neeraj to take us through the entire story from the technical perspective of what is taken to get from product design development to a glimpse into our manufacturing facilities as well.
Thank you, Narayan. Yeah, so I think you've all heard about Bala's achievement and what the motorcycle covering 7,000 kilometers in 20 days. But there's a lot of work that has gone in behind it from the entire engineering teams that are at Ultraviolet over the last 7 years. I thought what we could do is briefly touch upon some of those things, because some of these things are incredibly hard problems that we've taken on, and over time we have solved these to create a compelling product and a platform. So this is our R&D facility in Bangalore, in between Koramangala and Indiranagar. I will go into some more detail on the actual product. Right? So when we started out in 2016, we looked at all the companies available globally in terms of the electric vehicles. I'm sure you all know that there are scooters, hundreds of companies now making electric scooters. what we saw is that we were trying to build a motorcycle, and typically scooters have 3 to 8 kilowatts of peak power, anywhere from up to 60 to 100 kilometers of range. But that is generally not sufficient for a motorcycle. In motorcycles, what we are doing and what we are building out here is 30 kilowatts to 100 kilowatts of peak power. That's 10 times in terms of power. But when you look at efficiency, you look at losses, you look at thermals on all of the technology that we're building out. These things are a square factor of I square R, if you remember old physics, right? It goes into if your power went up 10 times, your losses went up 100 times for the same current. So solving these problems is not easy, and the same approach that is solving for scooters doesn't work for motorcycles. So we fundamentally had to build the entire powertrain, the battery management system, the battery tech, the thermals, everything in-house to be able to meet these kind of power and thermal demands, and at the same time respect the safety requirements that have been set. Now the way that we did this is that the entire engineering team has members who come with a lot of experience. Today we have a 300-member full-time R&D staff, and of those 300, about 180 are engineers, designers who have come from 3 different types of companies in the past where they worked: aerospace companies, consumer electronics companies, and even automotive companies. So our entire electronics was designed with the avionics approach. The way if one failure happens, it doesn't cascade into another failure, right? So that's the kind of approach. On the mechanical systems also, there are engineers who worked at ISRO, Boeing, Airbus, and those are the kinds of engineers who came in and built out the technology and the hardware such that you'll see it later today in the presentation in one of the videos. Whatever you throw at the bike is able to take that kind of shock, vibration, impact, whatever you throw at it. While it's a urban sports motorcycle, we have subjected the motorcycle to some very, very extreme conditions, which you will see, and what you see in some of the videos later on, it's a regular production bike. There's nothing special done for that motorcycle. But essentially that is the way that the product is built and engineered, right? So I just wanted to highlight that. So essentially everything that we have built, whether we talk about the software, the embedded systems, the power electronics, the battery management system, the drivetrain technology, the connected systems, every single motorcycle has an electronic SIM, an eSIM card, right? So there's data being collected so that you can see it on the app. So every single motorcycle has all of this being built out, and Bala mentioned one thing. So we didn't claim this record, but we have the record for the highest altitude over-the-air update in the world. So Bala was very close to, I think, the China border at a high altitude when we needed to enable sub-zero temperature discharge and charging, right? And that's when we did the update using our network, which is a connected system. Right? So these are the kinds of things that we built in, and of course we have production facility in Electronic City in Karnataka and Bangalore, and this is where the motorcycles are built out. There's 2 separate parts of the production facility. There's a vehicle assembly line, and then there is a very sophisticated high-end battery assembly facility, a battery manufacturing facility, because all of this requires high levels of safety, precision. Every battery pack has to be tested at the end of it, and only then it goes onto the vehicle. So all of this was built in-house to build the motorcycles that you see here today. And I'll just play a short video for you to get a sense of what is possible with this vehicle.
An underdog, at constant unrest, up against the world and its wisdom, fighting the voices inside. They want you to bare your soul. It isn't enough to be better. As for the rest, to be given a seat at the table, you need to be far beyond the best. Every step back is also a resolve to never accept mediocrity. And then what? They gather in force. The kings of the old world. Think you can flight mode.
So I think what this is very relevant because yesterday I was in Chennai here itself and someone asked me, what about the rains? How do we deal with the rains? And all I could say was the bike's already built to deal with it. In fact, what you saw in the video was actually a lot of it was unscripted. The fall in the stream was not predicted or planned for. It so happens that when we're trying adventurous things, these things happen, but that does not affect the vehicle. Of course, our recommendation is to stay safe. But the point is that the motorcycle platform that we have built is meant to be very stable. And over almost a decade of engineering has gone into building these vehicles. Right? So we are here today. I think for us, this is a big moment. Our presence we've been very, very thoughtful and careful about expansion. We've been particular that service has to be planned. In fact, service came to Chennai before this location and space station came live. You would see other companies, take on this, this effort to scale very quickly and sell as many vehicles very quickly, but without service in mind. So we were very particular that service has to be there in place. In fact, all of the locations that we described, service goes first and plans out, and then only sales comes into the picture, and from an experience point of view. So we are very particular about this. And today, I'm happy to announce that with our partners, we're very excited to go live in Chennai. Thank you. In fact, for us, when we started this endeavor, we were very clear that, where we take our products, it is going to be important to decide where these vehicles are available. and where our products from ultraviolet will be available. So we looked at the entire world, and we sort of identified 50 locations where we want our presence to be. And Chennai is one of those locations, and we are excited to be here. So thank you all for coming here today. After this, I think we can separately take questions. We'll be around here, but very excited.
5 minutes of Q&A now.
Sure, we can do a 5-minute Q&A also. So if there are any questions, please feel free to.
How many models are there?
Yes. So let me go back. Can we just go back to the beginning of the presentation, the one with all the different vehicles? So today, what is commercially available is the F77 Mark II and the Mark II Recon. These are two variants. These are two range variants. One has a range of over 200 kilometers and one has a range of 300 plus, 323 kilometers. So these two are available. We also have an entire portfolio that is being built up from, we unveiled a concept very recently in Milan. So this is called Concept X. We have a F99 motorcycle which is making a debut this Sunday in the Valley Run in Pune, where we are attempting to take on and break. Yeah, we'll come to that part on the F99 a little later. And we have several more products coming from the portfolio, and we're starting out with the F77. So the entire company, over a period of 7 years, several tens of millions of dollars has been invested, and over, I think, close to 400 crore has been invested over several years. Several of our investors are here in the audience also today, so I want to thank all of them who believed in ultraviolet. In fact, the first person who invested in ultraviolet, Vishesh Rajaram, is here back in 2016. So I think it's a moment to thank him. And it's been a long journey for us, but it's exciting to have very good set of partners and investors in ultraviolet. So production also, because the production plant is a 1 acre indoor facility with a separate battery and assembly line. So both the production and the R&D were planned out and we invested over a period of several years to make those things go like Yes. So the production capacity with the current plant that we have, we can scale to about 30,000 vehicles annually. This is our facility in Electronic City in Bangalore. We have several facilities adjoining, from a testing facility to a warehouse to the plant that you saw in the images.
What is the cost?
Cost of the vehicle. Yeah. So we have the two range variants that I spoke about. One starts at 2.99 lakh ex-showroom and the other is at 3.99 lakh ex-showroom. Another thing I want to highlight when we talk about cost is also the running cost. And also a lot of people think that, from the ex-showroom price to the on-road price is a big difference. Frankly, for electric vehicles, the good part is road taxes are very low, GST is low, right? Registration charges are very low. So the actual ex-showroom price is very close to the on-road price for these vehicles. And the other part is the running cost, which is a massive difference when it comes to the kind of performance that we put out. So it's 1/10 of what you would incur if you had a petrol or a gasoline powered motorcycle. You're spending close to 3 rupees per kilometer on a regular motorcycle. Here you'll be spending 30 paisa, right? So that's a 10x difference. So if you're spending every month, 5,000 rupees on 3,000 to 5,000 rupees on petrol, that comes down to a few hundred rupees in terms of electricity charges. So it's a little hard to think of it and imagine it, but that's the kind of difference the new technology.
As a company, you stick to only the motorcycle and go for scooters also.
So I think our plan was to sort of always build out technology that is hard to build, right? Our focus is on design, on engineering, on building cutting edge technology. If there are 50 other companies who are producing, different types of commoditized vehicles, we may not get into all of those segments, but we will get into the places where it is hard to solve problems. And that is our core, that is our belief. And what the others can't solve, we can solve it. And that's the thing.
There are many
In
players.
terms of vehicles,
Yeah.
bikes,
There are many players.
motorbikes, what is the percentage if they come in scooters?
Okay, so in India, actually 60% of the vehicles that are sold are actually motorcycles. But the reason why you see mostly electric scooters is because the technology is very easy to do there, right? And there are not many companies that have the R&D capability to solve it for motorcycles. So we are one of those. So now you will start seeing motorcycles, but essentially the market is mostly motorcycle, majority motorcycle, 60%, and less than I think about 30% is scooters.
How many service centers spare parts are being
Yes. Oh, sorry. I just realized that everyone at the back may not be able to hear me. So yes,
how many service centers in Tamil Nadu? The spare parts are available.
Yeah, so wherever there is a experience center, a space station, a spaceport going live, in every single location we will have service. And our plan is to scale up service before even sales and distribution and space stations come over. So our locations in Chennai, today in Chennai we have 2 locations here and on ECR in terms of service. In Coimbatore and other cities also we are planning out our service expansion. But we are very careful and thoughtful about where we put out.
There are many players in the field already. There are many players. How do you compete with them?
So I think one important aspect that we highlighted is that in terms of the performance of the motorcycle, 30 kilowatts of peak power, right? This is competing directly. Our competition is actually with the petrol motorcycles. It is not with other electric vehicles because frankly there is no competition when you talk about this kind of performance, this kind of range. The motorcycles that you have here have the largest battery pack in all of Asia. The second largest battery pack in all of Asia is also from Ultravan, right? 7 kilowatt hour, 10 kilowatt hour battery packs. So frankly, if you talk about competition for us, our job is to make sure that people are able to move from petrol or gasoline bikes to electric. We welcome any other companies that come to actually compete with us because we will be very happy. We are the flag bearers, the forerunners when it comes to electric motorcycles. So we would be very happy if more companies start coming to this space.
I think Royal Enfield has announced that. The single charge, what is the range?
So 323 kilometers on a single charge IDC range, and there are several customers out here probably as well who have in fact achieved that or even more in some cases on the way.
You are producing 30,000 vehicles per year. So how much is the target for sales?
So the plant is capable of producing 30,000 vehicles every year. So the way we are scaling up is each and every city. Our objective is not to just produce vehicles. Our objective is to make customers have a great experience with the motorcycles. So what we do is every city that we plan out both in India and globally, we plan out the service, the sales, the spares. That's why we call it a 3S facility, which is all 3 are available. And as we scale up, the production will meet the demand that is required for each location.
What will be the delivery time?
Okay, so in terms of delivery times, depending on the color and the, so we have 2 different variants and about 9 different form factors in terms of colors and choices. There's the laser, there's the S-type and shadow. So depending on which type of color you choose, it can be as low as 10 days to about a month in terms of delivery times. And these, as you can imagine, very high quality vehicles. So it takes, we are very specific about quality. So what you receive will meet that requirement, and that's how we plan.
So the riders may face many problems in hill stations. Do you have any suggestions on the hill station?
So, frankly, from whatever we have seen, the vehicle is built to be very robust, right? Whether it is hill station or water or bad roads, right? So the vehicles are built to be able to take on all of these conditions. In fact, one of the things that actually helps on the electric vehicle in terms of hill stations and locations is regenerative braking. So this feature, actually, if you start out from the top of a hill and you're coming downwards, you're actually charging the battery because the motor is acting as a generator, right? So we have higher efficiency on hills and in hilly terrain because every time you're going downhill, you're able to recuperate energy back into the battery. The battery starts to charge. So we actually have less wear and tear on brakes. We have less wear and tear on parts because in hilly conditions, we can be very efficient. So frankly, I mean, we will have service and sales spread across different parts of the country, but hills are a good thing for electric vehicles.
So we'll take a couple more questions and then we're here for the next hour or so.
Hi, Neeraj. How are you?
Yeah, very, very happy, excited to be here. Thank you.
Congratulations for your venture, Chennai venture. And you made the fastest electric vehicle for the first time possible in India. Thanks a lot. It makes a proud thing that you made it in India. Thanks a lot. As an EV enthusiast, I feel good about it.
Thank you.
Welcome. And I'd like to know about the charging port. What kind of charging port is there in it? And is it compatible with other car chargers and the biggest charging network among India? Is it compatible and will it be compatible? And one more small question. It's actually packed up with an NMC chemistry? And what about LFP? Are you planning for it? Or any battery tech updates you have? This share with us. Thanks.
So when it came to charging, of course, we wanted to have an open charging standard. So we're running the Type 6 connector on the X77s. This is a approved, certified, one of the approved standards. And one thing to keep in mind is four-wheelers and two-wheelers operate on different voltage bands. So there are a lot of hardware requirements that come in to have a differentiated charging connector between four-wheelers and two-wheelers today. And yes, so what we have is an open standard, the Supernova network that we are scaling up. Also, from our side, we are okay to open it out to other manufacturers. And I think this is going to evolve in a pretty nice way rather soon. I'll come to that. Let me finish part 2 of the question between LFP and NMC. I think on this, our intent is to provide maximum range on the motorcycle. So today we've chosen the chemistry that has the highest energy density. While LFP has advantages, we see it being used more often in four-wheelers, buses, cars, and the likes. But on a motorcycle where you need the best riding dynamics, there are also limitations on wheelbase, width of the motorcycle, whatnot. So I think balancing on all of this, fortunately has had us take a few options only, and this has required us to work with the highest energy density. This also means having to solve for safety in the most fundamental ways possible, and I think we've sort of demonstrated how we've gone about that as well.
Any PCM or any kind of mechanism that stops the thermals in time of emergency, time of
Sure. So if you go through our website, we have some of this outlined in more detail. We've got 5 levels of safety. Of course, PCM is one part of it. We've got mechanical, electrical, thermal, electronic, and software safety systems. For instance, when I talk about mechanical, I'm talking about an all aluminum battery casing. This is completely water sealed IP67 aluminum casing, capable of any sort of impact vibrations that any usage would throw at the battery packs. Electrical safety, we are among the first manufacturers to adopt a cell level fuse, and even the fuse mechanism has been designed, developed completely in-house. This itself, a fuse for a battery pack, took us 2 years of trial and error to get it right. Then moving on to thermals, of course PCM is one part of thermal problem solving. We've also got a lot of composite materials within the pack that do multiple functions, electrically insulating versus thermally conductive. So these are mechanisms that we